Welcome, this is a tutorial / quick start for Colossal Citadels. At first, thanks a lot for trying to get onto this game, for trying out this game. After this video, you have some knowledge to start out, or if you already know a bit, you might know something new. In case you're seeing this for the first time, Colossal Citadels is a turn-based strategy game that is a blend of 4X and roguelite and has tactical elements. You have your town / civilization, you survive, explore the world, and organize productions of chains of resources becoming stronger and stronger. So first of all, this is a roguelite, and you're supposed to learn something new every time and apply different strategies, different runs, and try again until you win. We will cover just the single player part. When the multiplayer is available, this will be applicable to co-op also. And for PvP, things are slightly different. But let's just go into faction selection. So at start, you can't select much of things besides the standard Roman Empire faction. Later on, you will unlock some more factions or some tech and perks for existing factions. But for now, you just starting with the Roman Empire. Some factions are fundamentally different. Some factions are slightly different, like you sometimes might want to decrease the difficulty if you're just starting out, but I'll use the standard one. Let's go. This game can have different targets and endings depending on your exploration, but the first main objective or win condition is Horde. In the game story, there is a faction of cartographers that know how to travel between continents in the infinite ocean. They take note of civilizations that are big enough. So you need to get wealthy, produce things until you produce 1,000 units of anything. This becomes challenging as you get attacked by mysterious force from somewhere in the continent. So you basically need to survive and produce, or you can eliminate that force if you find it, or you can flee the island if you know how, and so on. Here we are. We start with 5 workers. Each of them is independent. Basically, this is your town and army at the same time. These concepts are seamless in this game. One confusing thing about this is that you can't really control them separately. All your actions apply to them at the same time as a whole. A quick interface rundown. Here we have our end turn button. These are all the workers we have. We can shortly access them from here. This opens the production menu. Different categories. This also opens the production menu. Here we have how many knowledge we have, how many food we have, and how many other resources than food we have. This is our objectives, and this is the timeline. Basically the turn number and some events if we have something in front. Notifications are displayed here, and some smaller notifications are also displayed here, but we don't have any right now. What else? This is not that important right now. Some convenience options to show a list of abilities, for example, but we'll not get into that right now. And this shows the strategic view from above with icons of all productions. We'll get to that later. And you're also able to undo the last turn. And this, if you have multiple groups, this will select the next one. This is orders. Orders are actions that you can do each turn. So you usually have just 3 orders, and these orders are applied to your whole group. Each worker either works obviously, or moves. We'll get to work later, but now I'll explain what the movement is. To move, you basically have to right-click the ground outside of your borders, like this. This plays a movement order, and after you end your turn, it will resolve. And everything resolves for all the players at the same time, after everyone plays their orders and clicks end turn. Let's see what happens when I do that. They just walk towards the target. And that's basically it. So during the turn resolution, there are smaller steps during which some other things might happen, like status effects, like poisoning and whatever. One more thing is battles happen seamlessly on the same world. Your workers will attack your enemies on proximity. Like if this were close, there would be a battle. Movements cost orders, and you can, until you press end turn, you can cancel everything you do and get the orders back. So this costs an order, as you see. One more detail about movement is that there is another kind of movement, repositioning, that is a free action. The workers that are not assigned to any productions can be repositioned freely within your borders. And when you click end turn, the borders will expand around all the workers. That's even applied if you just move. So during the next turn, the borders will be expanded. So let's see. So we got all of that in our area. And why would you want to expand the borders? Is to reach stuff with your workers. For example, you can cut these trees to get some wood. You can mine stone. You can interact with structures. You can pick things up. Like this is food. I'll just demonstrate what it looks like. I end turn again. And this is within the borders, and I pick it up. So that's it about orders and movement. Let's get into productions. I just started over for simplicity. So productions. This is a core part of the gameplay. To open the productions menu, you can just click the group flag and you will see the production list. It reflects the resources you have and productions you can do. They are merged into the same list. For example, you have 5 food, 5 workers, 0 wood, and 1 knowledge. And nothing is produced now as nothing is assigned. This might look cryptic at first, but it's actually really simple. Let me explain. So this number, this small number, means how much of the resource you have. You can assign or unassign workers from this menu. For example, all workers need food each turn. The producing workers need food each turn. So I can assign a couple of workers to produce food, and they will do that each turn. And let's assign one more worker to produce wood. And again, you can't really control all your workers separately. Your orders are applied to the whole group, and the best one is selected to produce the certain production. So you just controlling the numbers assigned to each production. So now we have 2 workers assigned to food and 1 worker assigned to wood. Let's end our turn and see what happens. Let's not forget the expansion, and I will move the 3 workers to the border so that I can grab this food next turn. Here it is. Now we have one wood because one our workers were producing it, and more food. This is a production number. It reflects the change for the next turn. So the next turn we'll have 2 more food and 1 more wood. If we hover this number, we will see the explanation. 5 come from a production, and 3 is consumed by workers and productions. And this is just produced. We also can pick this up, and it's here. Now we have 14 food. We could also assign some workers to get more workers to join our group. As I had 2 free workers, I could do that. And let's see what happens. But at first, let's see the dependencies. So these are almost free to make. The food requires the fertile soil tiles in your area, and you have a lot of this. And the wood requires trees. But this is special. It requires some food, a resource that you have in your inventory. And getting workers to join actually requires a lot of food. So it will be not enough food to go on with the production of workers for the next turn. But let's see what happens. So we got 2 new workers, and old workers assigned to worker production were unassigned because they don't have enough resources. And that's basically productions. You can create these production chains out of different productions and get better stuff. Getting wood unlocked some new resources for us. These are, for example, charcoal. We don't know why we would need it at first, so we'll ignore it for now. And writing tablets. This can be used to get more knowledge, but we'll get to that later. So why would you need to get resources at all? First of all, get better stuff. For example, you can produce weapons for your workers so they fight better, or there are objectives that might require some resources. The main reason is getting better stuff. And right now you can't do much with wood you have. You would need to learn how to produce something else. For example, a weapon or a building. There is a system of understandings or tech. You can get new stuff with knowledge. To open that menu, you can, for example, click here on this little book icon, and you will be presented with a choice of understandings that you can acquire with the knowledge you have. For example, a weapon blueprint, a building blueprint, and some other stuff. Let's try to get a building. Now we are presented with a choice of a building that will be able to produce. We got wooden fortification. They give you some defense if you're staying in your town. There's a citadel. It's a special thing. We'll skip that for now. And there are houses. They usually give a lot of production efficiency and make your workers work much better. So this is a very useful thing, and we'll go with it. Let's see our production menu, and we have a stone houses here. They require stone and wood. We have a bunch of wood, but we don't have any stone. So let's explore the map and see if there is some stone. It looks like this. So this is a slate stone, and this is a marble stone. There are different kinds of the same resource on the map, and they have slightly different stats. They are not that important right now, so we can choose whatever is closest. This one will give +1 endurance to a random creature in the group every time it's mined. By the way, notice how the tooltips work. If you hover the mouse and don't move it, it will lock, and you will be able to expand tooltips inside. This is very useful. You basically can learn a lot everything in this game just by reading the tooltips. So totally do that. So we want to move closer to the stone with our borders to be able to mine it. Let's just do that. Let's spend a border to walk, and also let's assign one of the workers to produce something. What we would need. For example, let's produce more food, because we have a lot of workers now. Let's end our turn, and now we are close to the stone. We actually have two types of stone in our borders. It's useful to use filters to hide the types of resources we don't need. For example, we can show only extraction resources that are mined from the world. We have two types of wood available, two types of stone available, and some other stuff that we don't need right now, like iron. We can choose one of the stone types. Both will work for houses. And this one looks better for us. So I'm assigning 2 workers to mine it, and that's all we can do. Also, we can expand some more here. Now let's see how much stones we have. It's 4. But an important strategic thing here is that you usually don't want to produce just one of something, because the stone will run out and the production will stop. So you want to have a continuous supply of stone and wood so that the house's production can go on every turn, so that you don't have to spend your orders into assigning it back. Changing the assignments only costs orders. And if you already have them assigned, it will cost you nothing. So I want to have more stone. I want to have either at least 8 or I want 4 stone per turn. So I will just assign one more person to stone for this turn, and I also want one more worker so that I can have more workers on stone. Let's pick up that spear, and I have 1 extra order. I'll just pick up this wood. This is a wall structure. You can interact with all of this. There are dozens and hundreds of this in the world. Let's go. What do we have here? Yeah, workers' production were stopped because we don't have enough food. And now we have some stone. Let's start the stone house production. So here it is. Now it's going to produce one house per turn. The color of the world is changed because it is the night now, and during the nights there are usually invaders. For example, this indicates enemy pack. There are going to be some invaders coming from that direction, and we'll have to protect. So you'll see how battles work. But also we have some free orders. Perhaps it's a good idea to start producing knowledge. So I will start writing tablets out of wood, which are dependencies for knowledge. Okay, here's our little house, and there's going to be one more next turn, and so on. Now I can start the knowledge production, and as you can see, enemies are coming. we can hover our cursor over them and inspect how strong they are. They have 10 HP and 5 attack, but our workers usually a bit stronger at this difficulty, 40 HP and around 5 attack. Notice that there are different damage types. For example, this is a blunt damage, blunt attack, and blunt defense, cold, fire. So our workers just have some blunt defense and blunt damage. That depends on their stats. If I double click a worker, we can see everything in detail. For example, here are our stats. Every worker is composed of 6 characteristics: endurance, dexterity, accuracy, wisdom, willpower, and constitution. And this one has a lot of endurance. That's why he has 8% of blunt defense. And combination of stats also give something. For example, the minimum of endurance dexterity determines movement per turn. Dexterity and accuracy determines ranged weapon damage and critical attacks. And everything combined is action range. And third, combination of thirds also have some hidden stats. So there's a lot of things that are affected by stats. And now we'll see how battles work. So usually you would just move your workers towards the enemies and they would attack automatically. As you remember, we picked up some spears, so they get also equipped automatically. So this guy already has a spear equipped, and now he has 9 pierce damage instead. That's pretty strong. But sometimes you want a little bit more control over that. You can assign specific workers to fight, not produce. So this is done with productions menu. You just have to go here, military roles. There are 2 roles by default: fighters and defenders. Fighter is maximizing the choice for damage, and defender is maximizing for defense. If we click here, the game will automatically select a creature with the most damage. So this one has 11 instead of 9. That is even more good. Let's place him closer and observe what happens. He just destroyed these invaders, and they dropped some gems. And there is more enemies, so we can continue fighting. Also, we now have a bunch of knowledge available because this guy has leveled up, which brings us knowledge. Let's select weapons this time. The same as before, we have a choice of weapons. These ones are quite easy to produce as they don't require metals. There are bows and there are wooden clubs. Let's go with bows. And the thing about bows, here you can produce them, is that they also require projectiles to shoot. So you get a bunch of productions available at the same time. you have to produce both bows and arrows to be able to shoot. But this is totally worth it because you get better wood, you get enchantments, and you will be able to do really high damage using bows that you make yourself. But we will do that as we get more wood and workers later. For now, let's continue fighting. There are also some rewards available, but I will not go into them in this tutorial. Good. Now let's get to elemental gems, which are quite an important thing in this game. Every worker can cast abilities. By default, none of them has any abilities, but you are able to awaken magical abilities using the elemental gems you pick up in the world. It doesn't matter which one is used to awaken the elemental abilities, so we'll get anything, for example, emerald. And now this guy can learn some skills. There are 6 elemental gems: fire, water, air, earth, light, dark. And each worker rolls 6 random abilities, and you can choose one of them using the elemental gem. In our case, we can only choose this one to throw the weapon we have and deal a high amount of damage at the cost of weapon. As we don't have much weapons, I don't really want that, but for the sake of demonstration, I will get this ability. Now this worker has the ability, and you can cast it by clicking the ability and selecting the target. They are usually limited by range, and to cancel the casting you just right click it. So that's it for the abilities. By the way, usually a creature can only have just one ability. In some cases there are more, but when you acquire one of the abilities with elemental gems, all other abilities are replaced with passive abilities. You can still get this with other elemental gems, but with active ability that you chose, it's still here and you can upgrade it. This one is pretty useful. Every turn, this guy will get +1 cold damage all the time, but we need elemental gem of water for that. We don't have that. One last thing that I will show is fortifications. Let's have, for example, stone fortification. If we acquire that building to produce, we will be able to build walls and towers. They are a bit different from houses because you have to select their positions, and you don't have to do that with houses. So I will demonstrate how to do that. There is a place manually icon on some productions. You click it and you are able to draw walls around your settlement. Like this. And if you enclose your workers with walls, they will get a lot of defense. Also, if you don't enclose workers, they will get a little bit less defense when they're next to the fortification. So I created a production queue for these fortifications, and I will need to also increase the production. I will free up this worker. I can quickly do that by clicking this icon, and then I will increase the production. I can see the dependencies. I have a bunch of stone and it will go on for a while. And let's see. Now we have one piece of wall constructed, and we have to keep the production going to build the whole thing. This guy already has some defenses, which is good. So that's how you build fortifications. And this was the last part I wanted to cover in this tutorial. So if you have any questions, you can just ask them in our Discord. Thank you.